What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Garry has officially sent a bold warning to Belal Muhammad ahead of their highly anticipated clash next month in Qatar, and Belal wasted no time firing back. During his recent appearance on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, Garry confidently declared that he's going to finish Belal Muhammad and leave no doubts about his dominance in the welterweight division. "I'm going to finish Belal Muhammad," Garry said. "I want to make it unquestionable that I'm the single greatest welterweight walking on this planet." His message was clear. He wants to make a statement, not just win. However, Belal Muhammad wasn't about to let that slide. He quickly responded on social media, accusing Garry of ducking a 5-round fight. "You can't call for a title fight if you're afraid to make the fight 5 rounds, Belal wrote. He later confirmed that the upcoming bout would indeed be a 3-rounder, adding that Garry refused to accept a 5-round format. The exchange has set the tone for what's shaping up to be a heated showdown, with both fighters looking to prove themselves as legitimate contenders for the welterweight crown. The MMA community, meanwhile, remains divided. In a recent ESPN MMA interview, analyst Alan Juban weighed in on the matchup, saying that Belal's performance will depend on which version of him shows up. "The Belal before the JDM fight was taking down everyone, even top grapplers in the UFC," Juban noted. "But that version didn't show up against Jack Della Maddalena. He relied too much on striking and went to the wrestling too late." Juban emphasized that against Garry, Belal needs to stick to his strengths from the opening bell. "He's got to wrestle early and pressure Garry right away," he said. "Ian's too tall, too fast, and too sharp on the feet. If Belal doesn't close the distance quickly, it could be a long night for him." As fight night approaches, tension continues to build between the undefeated Irish striker and the relentless veteran. Both men are making bold claims, but only one will back them up when the cage door closes. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Dana White has made a surprising last-minute addition to the UFC 321 pay-per-view card, sending fans into a frenzy just days before the event. With UFC 321 set to take place next week, reports surfaced this morning from MMA insider Lert Vana confirming that Walter Walker will officially face Louis Sutherland in a heavyweight showdown. This announcement comes after weeks of uncertainty surrounding Walker's fight status. Originally, Walker was scheduled to compete at UFC Rio, but that bout was scrapped following a controversial situation involving Muhammad Usman, the brother of former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. Usman was flagged for elevated testosterone levels back in September, forcing the fight to be called off and leaving Walker without an opponent. Now, with a fresh opportunity on one of the year's biggest cards, Walter Walker is ready to make a statement. Walker has been pushing for a return ever since the Rio cancellation, and this matchup gives him the perfect platform to re-establish his momentum in the division. On the other side, Louis Sutherland, known for his knockout power and aggressive style, is stepping into the octagon looking to make a name for himself against a dangerous opponent. The last-minute booking adds even more excitement to an already stacked UFC 321 lineup, which features several high-stakes matchups and title implications. Dana White's decision to finalize this fight so close to fight week highlights his commitment to delivering action-packed cards for the fans, no matter how late the changes come. Fans have quickly taken to social media to share their reactions. Many are thrilled to see Walker finally back in action, while others are eager to see if Sutherland can pull off an upset on the big stage. Both men bring serious firepower, and their styles promise an explosive clash when they meet inside the octagon. With UFC 321 right around the corner, this unexpected addition has injected a new wave of anticipation. The question now is, will Walter Walker's comeback story continue with a win, or will Louis Sutherland spoil the moment with a career-defining performance? Move on to another news. Corey Sandhagen has made it clear he's not done chasing greatness. Despite coming up short in his recent title fight against Merab Dvalishvili, the top bantamweight contender has already set his sights on a massive showdown, a fight with former champion Sean O'Malley at the highly anticipated UFC White House event. During his appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, Sandhagen expressed strong interest in facing O'Malley, calling it the fight that fans have been asking for. "I think me and O'Malley has to happen," Sandhagen said confidently. "If there's ever a time to do it, it's now. That White House card would be sick to fight on against him. I think that's the one fight in the division fans are really calling for over and over again. If you threw us on that card, it would be a gigantic fight." While Sandhagen acknowledged that the event might still be a while away, he made it clear that he's willing to wait if it means delivering a fight of that magnitude. It's kind of far off, so I'm not thrilled about that part, he admitted. But for such a huge card and against such a good fighter, it'd be worth waiting for. That's the fight I want. However, recent developments suggest that O'Malley might already have another matchup in the works. During a live stream on Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok, rising star Song Yadong revealed that he'll be fighting O'Malley either at UFC 324 or UFC 325 early next year. If true, that could delay Sandhagen's hopes of meeting O'Malley inside the octagon anytime soon. Despite the setback, Sandhagen remains focused and motivated. He had high praise for Dvalishvili's work ethic and willingness to fight again so quickly after their bout. Merab is an animal, Sandhagen said. All of the respect in the world to him because he doesn't have to fight again that soon, but he wants to. That dude is a unique individual. Good for him. I'd never do that. Although Sandhagen fell short on the scorecards, his hunger for competition hasn't faded. With his name still among the top contenders in the division, a win or two could easily set him back on track for another title shot. Whether it's Sean O'Malley or another top-ranked opponent, one thing is certain. Corey Sandhagen is determined to make another run at gold. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev has once again made headlines, this time by setting his sights on UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira. During a recent interview with Oslanbadvi, Chimaev boldly called out Pereira for a fight at 205 pounds, saying he's confident he could dethrone the Brazilian knockout artist and become a two-division UFC champion. If you ask me, of course, I'd love to fight for the second belt, Chimaev said. It's no secret that the guy who's got the belt at 205 pounds now is a very good matchup for me, as long as I don't get reckless standing with him. People talk about his power, but I've never been edged out in that area. Chimaev went on to explain why he believes Pereira isn't untouchable, referencing the champion's move from middleweight to light heavyweight. He used to fight at 195 too, and then moved up to 205, Khamzat continued. So I'd like to fight at light heavyweight. It's just another division to conquer. While Chimaev's call out of Pereira is gaining massive attention, the Boers doesn't seem too concerned about who the UFC puts in front of him next. Whatever they give me, whether it's Nasruddin Imavov, Dricus du Plessis, or Hernandez, I don't care, he said. Just pay me some good money. I've always been that way. If you consider yourself the best, you shouldn't care who you fight. Known for his fearless attitude and unmatched intensity, Chimaev has been vocal about wanting to chase greatness across multiple divisions. His statement about Pereira adds another layer to his growing legacy, a fighter who refuses to stay in one lane. While Pereira continues to establish dominance at 205, Chimaev's challenge adds fuel to an already exciting division. Fans have immediately begun speculating what a matchup between the Brazilian powerhouse and the Chechen wrestling phenom would look like, two of the most dangerous fighters in the UFC colliding for light heavyweight gold. Whether or not the UFC decides to book this potential super fight remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Khamzat Chimaev is hungry for history, and Alex Pereira may soon find himself with another dangerous challenger knocking at his door. Move on to another news. UFC legend Ronda Rousey has been at the center of fresh comeback rumors, but not everyone believes it would be wise for her to step back inside the octagon. According to veteran UFC analyst Dean Thomas, allowing Rousey to fight again would be irresponsible given her past revelations about her health. Last summer, during an appearance on Chris Van Vliet's Insight podcast, Rousey made a shocking admission. She revealed that even if she wanted to return to the UFC, she isn't neurologically fit to compete. The former women's bantamweight champion explained that the toll of years of combat sports had left her in a condition where fighting at a professional level would no longer be safe. However, after giving birth and recently returning to training, speculation began swirling online about a possible comeback. Fans were thrilled at the idea of seeing Rousey back in the cage, but analysts like Dean Thomas are urging caution. During an appearance on The Bonfire, Thomas made his stance crystal clear. She shouldn't even be cleared, Thomas said. How irresponsible would it be for any fight organization to hear all that and then still put her in a fight? To me, it almost sounds like she leaked that information hoping they wouldn't let her fight again. You can play around with those kinds of neurological issues. Thomas continued, emphasizing the ethical and reputational risks involved. It wouldn't be good for the sport. It would be a terrible look to have someone who's been open about serious health issues and still book them for a fight. If that's really the case, we've got to keep her out of the octagon for her safety and for the integrity of the sport. While Rousey hasn't confirmed any official plans to return, she did tell TMZ Sports recently that she's enjoying being back in the gym and rediscovering her rhythm. The former champion noted that training again brings her joy, but she hasn't made any statements suggesting a professional comeback. For now, Rousey appears focused on her health, family, and fitness. And while fans would love to see her make one last walk to the cage, experts like Dean Thomas believe believe that some doors are better left closed when it comes to long-term well-being and fighter safety. Move on to another news. Frankie Edgar recently opened up about his frustration after his bare-knuckle fighting championship BKFC debut against Jimmy Rivera was canceled at the very last moment. After weeks of intense training and preparation, the former UFC champion was blindsided when his manager received an unexpected email stating that BKFC's owner's doctor had advised against allowing him to fight. According to Edgar, this decision came despite him having already signed a contract months earlier and completing every medical requirement. I passed every single one of my medicals. I did a ton of them, running around to make sure everything was cleared. Every doctor said I was in great shape, Edgar explained. He went on to claim that BKFC falsely claimed they didn't receive his medical documents, despite him personally submitting them. They said they didn't get my medicals, but they did. Then they didn't send them to the commission. I even spoke to someone there who told me the commission's doctor reviewed my file and said I looked fantastic. Edgar described the entire situation as shady and unprofessional, expressing disappointment in how the promotion handled things. Honestly, I want to be pissed off, but I can't let it consume me that much. They dogged me on my own fight date. That's crazy. I thought BKFC had something special going. It was entertaining, and I was excited to be a part of it. But not if they treat fighters like this, he said. Veteran fighter also issued a warning to others considering signing with BKFC. Fighters out there, beware. They're just giving me something small so I don't sue them for the whole purse. That's where we're at. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor publicly voiced his support for Edgar, saying he hoped the former champion would still get to compete on a future BKFC card. However, judging by Edgar's comments, it seems unlikely that he'll step into the BKFC ring again anytime soon. Once a symbol of professionalism and grit, Edgar now feels disrespected and betrayed by an organization he initially believed had great potential. It's just shady, bro. That's all I can say, he concluded. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall has sent a strong warning to the UFC heavyweight division, reminding everyone that the world has only seen a fraction of what he's capable of inside the octagon. Known for his lightning-fast finishes and dominant performances, Aspinall has never gone past the second round in his entire MMA career, a fact that has left many of his future opponents guessing. Ahead of his highly anticipated bout with Cyril Gane, the heavyweight champion spoke to RMC Sport Combat about how his quick victories have actually worked to his advantage. Because my fights end so quickly, opponents have only seen about 10 to 20% of what I can really do, Aspinall explained. If I can go through my career with people only seeing a small piece of my skill set, that's ideal for me. The longer the fight goes, the more my opponents get to study and adapt. So far, that hasn't happened. Aspinall's record speaks for itself. Despite competing at the highest level, he's only been past the first round once in his entire UFC run, an incredible testament to his power, precision, and fight IQ weight. His speed and technical ability have separated him from the rest of the heavyweight division, which is often dominated by brawlers and slower-paced fighters. The British champion emphasized that unpredictability is his greatest strength. This is my 10th UFC fight, and people still don't know what I can do. That's one of my biggest advantages. My opponents can't prepare for what they can't see, he said confidently. Now, as he prepares to face Cyril Gane, one of the most skilled and tactical fighters in the division, fans are eager to see if this will finally be the bout that pushes Aspinall beyond his usual quick finishes. Will Gane be the one to drag him into deep waters and test his endurance? Or will Aspinall once again prove that his speed and precision are simply too much for anyone to handle? Either way, one thing is clear. Tom Aspinall is a dangerous mix of raw athleticism, intelligence, and untapped potential. And if the heavyweight division isn't already on notice, it should be now.